Taking the GRP cover off, it's revealed this the plate and the mounting piece of timber. It's pretty rotten. It's not as soft as I thought it was going to be, but it's rotten. Quite a hard piece actually. But these M6 bolts are like shocking condition really. The top bolt or nut is actually spinning on the bolt, so yeah, that's obviously well rotten behind it, or the glass or whatever that was holding the head of the bolt behind this piece of timber is rotten and it's just spinning. It's the only thing I can make out of it anyway. I'll have to either cut that head off to get the plate off, or I'm not sure the next bit. But yeah, this section is going to have to be cut out once this is out of the way. Once the plate is out of the way, it'll be a little bit easier.
Totally the wrong tool to be using, but there we go. This piece of wood is absolutely done.
So the chain plate bracket is going to come out with a whole lot. There we go. This is the first one. Oh my god, this is horrendous. Ugh. What on earth? That is. So this is the first one, sort of tidied up area. My new backers are going to come back down to about there, I think, so I might need to just clear that out a little bit more. There's the fiberglass and the polyester from the original mould, and then they've just laid it up with glass. That looks thick enough. There was some polyester sort of like glue which I'd used to stick this down with. That was quite hard to get off, but obviously needs to be a decent surface. So yeah, just losing a bit of light now, so I'm just gonna quickly whiz around show you what I've done in terms of progress with the internal chain plates. I've got well, 3 off so far, and just this one here behind the galley. That's just about to come out. Came out easy, but all of these are. Oops. All of these are absolutely rotten. I mean, there's loads of water coming out when I've gone and knifed into the gel cover, if you like. So it seems like the actual wood is bonded to the original mould of the boat, and then they've gelled over the top like a big glass sort of strand, if you like, sort of all the way across. So you do have to, if you intend on putting larger wood base on for the plates, which is what I'm planning on doing, yeah, you kind of need to sort of go further but clear the fiberglass layer which they've put over the top. You could probably go over and glass it straight onto there, but it's probably best to clear that out as much as possible before you know, sticking the new base on. This one behind here, don't know if you can see, it's probably, I need the tool to show you. Yeah, there we go. That came out reasonably easily. There's a big hole in the deck join right behind where it was, so potential water ingress through there, but I think most of it came through the actual deck hole where the plate came through. I think that's where most of this moisture has come in from. This one was an absolute pig because of the yeah, just the cabinet wall there, so I had to work around that a little bit, but that's come out okay. Again, really wet on there, and then that one I've already covered, so we're kind of getting there with it now. I'm hoping to, I mean, these are getting easier as I'm doing them, so taking usually about 30 to 40 minutes to do each one, but this side has been definitely easier. I've just got 2 to do in the on the stern, and then that will be it, clearing them out. So I just need to tidy up where they've come out from, and yeah, I'm ready for putting the new ones in. They're the old ones, and I'm about to show you the new ones. And here they are. Nearly all of them, because one of the wood blocks which I cut up has I've actually noticed some small splits down the centre, so I'm going to bin that one off. But these are 5 of the 6 which will be installed. They are solid, straight blocks, not tapered like the other ones. And the plan is to install. These are slightly longer. If I just compare one against the other of the old type, so you've got probably an extra ½ inch on the end, slightly wider by about 1 inch overall, or ½ inch overall. It's an M10 bolt instead of an M6, I think that is. And the back is a hex head on there, not with a washer, not a flat head screw. So and that will be what I'll do with that is I'm gonna mix some West Systems epoxy and then fill that in, so that when I'm tightening up the nut, that bolt isn't going to turn. So that's the plan. I'm actually looking forward to getting these in, but basically what will happen now is go back to the boat, and I'm going to have to cut a new hole in the chain plate, because as you can see, the thickness there is much thinner than the new one. So the position of the chain plate for the deck is going to be slightly more to the centre of the boat, only very slightly, but it is going to mean that I'm not going to be able to use the existing slot. It wasn't my intention to use the existing slot anyway, because I do want to bulk up a little bit with this section of support. So yeah, it is going to mean that I need to measure up where this is going to go, and then drill a new slot in the deck and fill in the existing hole. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. All this is going to be glassed in, so I'll have a West Systems filler, a West Systems mix that'll be coated on this back and against the hull. That'll go tacky, and then I'll apply the West Systems with a filler, a high density filler for strong bonding, and then that'll be fit in position, if you like, into the hull, and then hopefully that'll cure right where I need it to set. Now the thing I've done with this is the holes where the chain plate fit, sort of the holes in the chain plate, I've had to drill slightly bigger, because you need some play with the chain plate as you put it through the deck, so that you can position the chain plate over the top of these bolts and down at an angle. Because if you think you're not going to come straight down, you're going to need to come at an angle and then position over the top and then down. So if you were to cut these absolutely plumb, you wouldn't be able to actually slide the plate over the top, because this one down here would be slightly off center, even though you can get that one on, but that one would then be slightly out. So there has to be some play with the holes drilled in the chain plate. So you could say maybe drill that to 11mm instead of 10. That would give you some extra play, but I have just literally bored out a 10mm hole and then just moved the drill about a bit. It's a little bit crass, but the main thing with drilling holes in these chain plates is to try and keep the heat down, because you don't want to compromise any of the other metal. So I've been doing it really slowly, which has been a bit painstaking and a bit time consuming, but use some drilling fluid to try and keep the heat down, and don't drill high speed. Like if you're using a home drill, don't go full whack, because you will just burn your drill out. The stainless will literally just heat up and you'll just end up melting your tool end. So just if you go half speed, do it nice and slow, and you will cut through this reasonably easily. So yeah, that's kind of it really. The back section of the wood, after I've drilled the M10 hole, so I've just to make it easier, I've cut the holes in the wood in the chain plate first, and then I've marked the hole on the wood with the through the holes of the chain plate, so they are accurate where I want them. And then I've drilled the hole through the wood, the M10, using the M10 wood drill bit, and then I've used a larger drill, hole drill, to just mark out the head, so that can sit flush with the wood. So that'll be glued in the hole. So yeah, that's my design. We'll see how we get on installing these. So one thing I do need to do, along with obviously installing the chain plate holders, is to make the deck glands to prevent any further liquid from getting in. So I've started making just these small little plates to basically cover the gap between the chain plate and the the deck. And this is just out of I'll cut the piece out of a section of well, this is just a cutting board. It's tough plastic material, so should be able to cope with flexing, etc. I think it's must be, I don't know what the thickness of that is, but I don't want it too thick, because obviously you don't want to take up too much height there of the protruding chain plate. But once these are cut out, just ring that in. These will screw into the deck with just some small screws, and there'll be some butyl tape or something underneath here, some Sikaflex, just to squeeze into that, make that kind of seal, if you like. So I'll make 6 of these, and then yeah, just cut the holes, and then they're ready for fitting. So I've just done a couple of mixes now. The first one was without filler, just to start on the surface, prep the surface of the back of the first wood plate, or wood mount, if you like. The second one was with a wood sort of high bond filler. I have got a wood one. I haven't got the white powder stuff, but it doesn't really matter so long as it's of decent strength and density. Really, that's the main thing. You want to just get that into a state where you can actually work it, as opposed to it running everywhere. It's amazing how much of this stuff you actually need. I mean, you can use anything. I mean, they used to use talcum powder, I think, originally in the old days, but something that's fine and it's got a good got a fine density to mix up. And you want it sort of I mean, that's the mix for the wooden mounting plate, if you like. It doesn't look much, but there is plenty there, I think, for that job. There's about 40 grams of resin, and about what is that, about 8 grams of hardener, and then 3 spoons of that filler stuff. So, and you want it sort of like kind of like a peanut butter consistency. It's probably about 3 scoops in there. When you think that you've added too much, don't worry about it, just mix it up and see how it looks. If it looks slightly runny, put some more in, because it'll be a bloody mess if you start working, especially in vertical sort of locations like this.
the way you can get. I mean, there will always be some run while it's curing. This is fast hardener, so shouldn't be an issue, but if you do start to run, best thing to do is to just keep working it until it starts to properly cure, or put some maybe some tape round where it's running so it doesn't fucking look like an absolute mess when it's done. You can flatten it once it's hardened, but when this stuff goes hard, even a grinder, I mean, it would take a grinder to work it back. Sanding is just, and that's a messy process, so you want to try and make this job as neat as possible. Yeah, just make that filler as thick as possible, and when you're laying up the first sort of layer, if you like, that to help the bond, then use thin amounts when you brush it on. Don't go piling it on, and make sure it's well mixed in. So yeah, that's where I am at the minute.
Just started prepping the surface of that one, and then I'm going to go over to that in a second and put that plate on. So
yeah, going okay so far. So it's about 2 hours since I've put this on, all four in the cabin. It's gone to a state where it's tacky, it's kind of holding its own. It's sort of really like a heavy putty kind of sort of state, I suppose. You could still probably move it around a little bit, but it's going to hold that block there, if you like, which is perfect. I can remove the supports there. That's the only thing is just getting the supports on for these, because it's just in an awkward position. So I was using a few sort of bits of wood just to prop it up from like sort of the where the seats are, and then up in the air. So but you don't, with the fast resin, you don't really need too much time before it actually that starts to set, and you can just remove them supports then, and let it cure, which is what it's gonna end up doing now for the next, well, what does it say on the tin? Around 5 to 7 hours to cure solid. So in another 4 hours that should be well pretty much there, to be honest. I'm just in the process of kind of working on the transom at the minute. It's quite awkward at the back there. Just done my best as I can to clean that up. I've really laid on the resin thick for the stern, because I just felt the need to, really, and sort of covering quite a large area away and around the block. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. I've got one in position now. I've just got to do the port side transom, and then I'm pretty much ready to go for a pint, to be honest, and let these things set completely.